Hey everyone, my name is Gavin, and this will be a video on how to change the sound volume with Python and Blender Game Engine, and I'm just going to get started. So to start off, let's go from defaults to game logic and go from Blender Render to Blender Game. On our cube in the middle, let's add an always sensor, click these first three dots, and add a mouse sensor like this with tap selected, and let's rename the sensor to click. Minimize this like this. And what we're going to do is add a Python controller like this and connect those two to this. Next, let's add a sound actuator, and we can do this by clicking sound right here, hit open, and add a sound into our sound actuator. Once we have that, let's change it to play end, and let's connect that to our Python controller and rename this actuator as sound. Once we have that, what we're going to do is drag this out, add a game property, change it to Boolean, and let's call this toggle, and we're going to toggle this property to determine whether or not we're going to turn our sound on and off. So let's now add a keyboard sensor with space as the name, with tap selected, and for the key let's put spacebar. Minimize this, and let's now add a property actuator. I will rename this as toggle, or toggle, like this, and we'll change the mode type to toggle like this. And we can toggle this property like this. Connect that to your keyboard sensor. Minimize this. And we can see we can toggle this property by hitting this I and do game and then show debug properties. Hit P and we can see that property in the top left corner of the game view is toggling to true or false. Once we have that, I'm going to open this back up. I'm going to drag this out and let's do templates, Python, and then game logic simple to create a Python template. Delete this portion right here and do control and scroll up on your mouse and rename this as something like gamescripts.py. And once we have that, what we're going to do is put that in here, and we're now going to define our sound and our click. So sound is going to be an actuator, so let's do const.actuators sound, and then click is going to equal const.sensors click. What we're going to do now is have if we press the left mouse button or the click sensor, so if click.positive, we're going to activate the sound, and if we're not pressing it, we're going to deactivate it. This is just because you can run into some issues where your mouse clicks won't read with the sound, so that's why. So we should be able to hit play, and we should be able to click a bunch of times and be able to hear the sound. Okay. Now that we have that, what we're going to do is determine how loud our sound is going to be by whether or not we actually have this Boolean operator true or false. So let's have if own toggle is equal to true. We're going to have sounds.volume, and remember sound is referring to the actuator, is going to be equal to, and if the toggle property is false, we're going to have sounds.volume is going to equal 0.25 or something very small. So we should be able to hit play and hear that it's really soft, and we should be able to hit the space bar to set it to true and hear that it's a lot louder. If you want more of a definite example, we can set this to 0 really quick. Hit play or P, and we can't hear anything when we click because it's off. Toggle it to true, and there you go. Alright, that is how you toggle or change sounds volume with Python in the Blender Game Engine. I hope you guys find this very useful. Here's the rest of the scripts, and there you go.